All right, guys. I know nobody's here yet, but for the replay, just so I don't start the show in complete silence, I'm trying a new thing here. I'm trying to do this from StreamYard. I'm going to see if it works, but I don't know if it will. I don't know if it will, so we got to see. I want to see if it gets into the shorts feed or whatever you call it when you do it directly from your phone, vertical. So hopefully we'll find out soon. I'll just wait. Who's here? I got to get used to this now. I can actually use this chat section I use for my regular shows. What we got? Hit the like button, please. Of course, I don't even know on here how to tell who has or hasn't hit the like button, or if anyone has. I can't see my likes. What we got? Anybody in the chat? Anybody getting this through their Shorts live feed? Captain Homer, you're here. Did it come up the way it usually does? Look, I can put your comment up there now. How about that? I guess I should have learned this a couple of weeks ago. I want to see if it works if I get in the same algorithm, because before when I read about it, it said you have to do it from your phone. But I'm doing it from my computer this time, so we're going to see. But there's 7 people who aren't chatting, so I have a feeling it's working. Please hit the like, guys. Just open the app and jumped in. Sweet. All right. Well, let's see. You know how it goes in the beginning of these shows. It takes a while to get some people in here to start up a conversation. Oh, let me put this up because I could do this now too. At least I think I can. There you go. Look at that. I don't have to have that black screen. The Constitution stands for Antifa too. Yes, it does. It does, Captain Homer. 10 people. Everybody please hit the like button. Jump in the chat if you'd like. We're going to see if people, just like last night on the show we did, we're going to see if people can defend Trump without mentioning Biden, without even referring to him. Because if people will be slick and be like, well, you mean Sleepy Joe? No. No references to Joe Biden. Just defend Trump without saying the word Biden or referencing that man. Constitution stands for everybody. What Captain Homer means is anti-fascism. That's what he means. The Constitution stands for anti-fascism. Antifa, I know people believe Antifa is some organization or group. It's not at all. Oh, look at this. Somebody new. Vade Pierce 4542. I never saw you before. So glad Zoran won. Yeah, I am too, honestly. I don't live in New York, but I know it's going to wind up benefiting the working class people. And I don't understand why they don't see that, but I think it's just too much right-wing media convincing them otherwise. Politics is a problem, not just Trump. Wall Street controls everything. How do we get around that is the question. I don't know if there is any getting around that, Pat. And I know that it's Patrick. I'm sorry. I know it's not just a Trump thing. Politics in general is a problem. Yeah, but I always start the shows talking about Trump because that's my main problem. That's who I think is the cause of most of the country's issues today. You know, I think it's fair to say he is the leader. But I don't know if there's any getting around Wall Street. I don't think it's possible. Exactly. Just because he is a Muslim, there's so much misinformation about him. Yep. The fucking comments people put in here and shit is like, it's disgusting about that guy. Unchecked power, regardless of ideology, is the problem. And that's what we have right now. Unchecked power. He controls everything. He controls the FBI, the Department of Justice, Congress, everything. The Supreme Court, for fuck's sake. I'm a Floridian in the last free state, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know, Patrick. Personally, I'm trying to move to Florida, not because it's a red state, but because it's paradise. But I don't know much about living there, you know? I kind of understand why you say that, though. New York is going to love communism. Enjoy. Yeah, well, he's not a communist, so whatever you say, dumb taker. It's not just Trump; it's all the hateful, angry goons that follow him. Oh, no doubt. Talking ball, yeah. The supporters are the main problem because without them, he doesn't exist. But you know, in a way, if he doesn't exist, neither do they. If that makes any sense, because it is their whole identity. You know, the problem is that they support Trump blindly. They just whatever the fuck he says, they believe it and they repeat it. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I swear to God, except for cults. If you study cults at all, I mean, and this is a cult. That's what it is. He could do anything today on live TV, anything. And 5 minutes later, everybody in here will be repeating whatever Fox News said about whatever it is he did. You know, they'll just be repeating that. Yes. Yes. So much hate. They only like Trump because they are also mean hearted. Well, of course. I heard somebody say it once, and it's very true that Trump they're assholes, and Trump is the biggest asshole. That's why they love him. The only thing he could do to lose their support is stop being an asshole. Who would be a better replacement, in your opinion, than Trump? Anybody. Anybody. Literally anybody. If you're a Republican, put, I don't know, Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, put anybody in there. He isn't a communist at all. No. Democrats are the dumbest people on the planet. All right, Nick. Well, you got your chance to debate a Democrat here. So let's do it. Let's go, Nick. Look what his comments are. You were so delusional. Democrats have ruined the world. Now actually talk about something. Let's see if we can have a debate. Arizona is nice, but it's hot in Phoenix and Tucson. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to do Arizona. It's landlocked. I want to be at the fucking beaches. I would like Florida, you know, Fort Lauderdale is one of my favorite places on earth, but it's so fucking expensive. Tell me a single time he said he was a communist. Yeah, no, of course not. He hasn't. He said he was a Democrat socialist. Yep. I'm not a Republican, but nobody is more hateful than Democrats, party of the KKK. Yeah, if it wasn't for that big switch thing, you know, then yeah, it's the party of the KKK, sure. Except who exactly does the KKK support and endorse today? Is it the Democrats? Or would that be the Republicans? Which party likes to fly the rebel flag again, the Confederate flag? Is that Democrats or is that Republicans? Yeah. Come on, man. I guess you don't know about what happened in the 70s, right? And listen, dump taker, you guys are the most hateful people in the fucking world. You hate fucking Muslims, you hate black people, you hate Mexicans, you hate immigrants, legal or illegal, you hate gay people, you hate trans people, you hate liberals, you hate everybody. The problem is you think any of this matters. There is no future as you know it. Remember me. Okay. All right. Yo, the future is definitely shaky to say the least. Yeah. Jon Stewart from The Daily Show should run for president. I agree. Empathy is a weakness. Elon Musk. Yeah. He literally said he was a communist. No, dump taker. That's just what you were told. And if I'm wrong, I'll tell you what, dump taker. I'm doing a show. You got free time. Find me the video right now and tell me how to find it. Just tell me the title of it and I'll pull it up and we can watch it. You want to see a real ass? What the fuck? Look in the mirror. Okay. Again, guys, what you're going to see on here is me discussing politics, policies, Trump, things that are going on in the world today, and you're going to see the Trump supporters come in and insult me and not actually say anything because they don't have a fucking brain in their heads. Okay, Trump is a felon, but he would be for long. What the fuck does that mean? You streamers read whatever allows your stream to continue. I debate you on there is no future Formula Inc. It's over. What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? The fuck? You're a traitor to America. No, I'm not. I love America. It's you guys that are traitors. You supported an insurrection. You support a guy that tried to overturn a free and fair election and overthrow the government, not us. Yeah. No, not really, dump taker. David Duke votes Democrat. Is that right? So what does that matter? I don't even know if that's true, but one guy? Okay. Dems literally started the KKK. Yeah. And as we know, the Republicans and the Democrats switched platforms. So the Democrats of back then are the Republicans of today and vice versa. You're an idiot, bro. Listen to the Democratic Party started the fucking KKK, and it was the Republicans who actually freed the slaves. And again, the Republicans of back then are the Democrats of today. I hate your mustache. I don't give a fuck. What do I care about you? They hate women. You forget that part. Who? Not me. You talking about oh yeah. I mentioned the things they hate. I did forget that part. Sorry. I don't hate anybody. You can't stop being wrong. Oh, yes, you do. You wouldn't support Trump if you didn't. There's not a single policy of his that benefits you. I guarantee it. John F. Kennedy was our last true president. We all know what happened to him. I don't know about that. I watched him say he was a communist. Okay, then it should be no problem for you to go get it. To find that clip and tell me how to find it. Siesta Key is beautiful in Florida, some with long boat. Key more the Tampa, Manatee area, but affordable, not so touristy. Is that right? I never checked that out. Did you literally say Trump is a fascist? I didn't, but he is. I didn't even see your comment, War. Sorry, bro. Was stolen, you demon rat. Was stolen, you demon rat. What was stolen, fuckface? How much are the Democrats paying you? I wish they were fucking paying me. You support the destruction of cities and America last. You support terrorist organizations such as Trans-Tifa and BLM. I don't support BLM. I am indifferent to the subject of transgender, issues in general. I don't support the destruction of cities. So you're wrong on all counts. So I don't know what to tell you, grower, not shower. And there's no organization called Antifa. There's no organization. It's an ideology. It's not a fucking organization. You're delusional like most Dems. Sure I am. That's false. There was no switch. Of course not. No. Yeah, there was no switch. Not at all. Nope. It's just that, all the racist Southerners and stuff started voting Republican instead of Democrat. That's all. You ever hear the Southern strategy? You guys want to see something? I'm going to play you something. Let me school you guys a little bit. Let me have Steve Bannon tell you what really took place.
It's pretty simple to explain. Basically, when Nixon was discovered having committed Watergate, people thought the Republican Party was washed up. But a clever staffer on in Nixon's White House came up with an idea for how to get more new Republican voters to replace all the people that were turned off by the corruption that had just been exposed, and perhaps save the party. His name was Lee Atwater. And he said, I know where there's all kinds of disgruntled white people. All you got to do is appeal to them over their anger about the end of Jim Crow and about school desegregation and about the Civil Rights Act. And these are the words that you'll say to kind of trigger them. Then we call these the racist dog whistles. And you will send a message to them that they are welcome in the Republican Party. And starting in the mid-'70s to the mid-'80s, there was a massive change in voter registration from Democrat to Republican on the part of all these racists and lowlifes and ignorant people. At the same time, Trump started to have political ambitions. Now, it turns out Trump has an IQ of about 73. He barely functions as an adult. If it were not for the fact that his father gave him a lot of money, he wouldn't be able to function as an adult. Trump has less money now than he would have had if he'd just taken the money he got from his father and put it in an index fund in the stock market and just let it sit. But he's gradually played around with it all these years and lost it in all his lawsuits and so forth, and his 6 bankruptcies, and he has dissipated a fortune over his lifetime. Now, he's had the Russians for the last 20 years to bail him out, but ordinary people cannot be as dumb as Trump and still function. But Trump came out onto the public stage and started talking boldly like he wanted to do things politically and help the people of America. And he speaks like a third grader, because that's what somebody with an IQ of 73 talks like, even if they're an adult. Linguists have analyzed his speech, and they've made it plain. He speaks English at a third grade level. This energized dumb people, because for the first time they could understand a presidential candidate. And they said things like, oh, he speaks his mind. He's the first guy that doesn't use a bunch of fancy words and confuse me. Now I finally understand what he's saying. And of course, what he was saying was a lot of things they wanted to hear. They were the racist dog whistles. And so you had a beautiful alliance, from their perspective, of racists and stupid people. The lower 12% of the IQ distribution corresponds perfectly to Trump's supporters. Now, these people are so intelligent that there's actually a federal statute that prohibits their induction into military service. They didn't want to have a repeat. Congress didn't want to have a repeat of the McNamara's Morons incident from Vietnam, which is a notorious thing you can look up on your own. McNamara's Morons, it's called. Basically, we had a Secretary of Defense who had the idea that, hey, why don't we recruit low intelligence people, send them to war and see what happens. And what happened was they died in droves, and of course things got worse. And so they didn't want that happening again, so they actually passed a law. You're not allowed to recruit and induct into military service the lowest 12% on the IQ range. But they're still allowed to vote, and Trump energized them. He made dumb people think that they finally understood politics. He made people strut around proud of themselves, thinking that they had a grasp of the issues, because they could tell on some level that Trump wasn't much smarter than they were, but there he was, a big shot. So he seemed like a champion for them. Of course, all these people forget that they aren't rich. They didn't have a dad hand them the equivalent of $412 million. And they can't do the things that Trump does, and they can't get away with the things Trump has gotten away with. And even Trump himself is not going to get away with them indefinitely. But the stage has been set, and this is where we're at. Basically, we have a fanatical core of low intelligence voters that are solidly behind Trump. They will back him no matter what he does or says, because they don't care what he does or says. They just know he's their guy. They understand him. They like him. He talks to them in a way that they can comprehend, and they are fanatical in their support of him. He has given them what they see as dignity and strength. And then at the other end of the spectrum are smart people from all walks of life. I actually used to be a Republican myself. I'm ashamed to admit it now, but I know I'm not alone. I mean, millions of people who make sure that they turn out to vote against Trump used to be actual Republicans, because the Republican Party is now nothing but a loony bin of the very low intelligence. And there's just no way that you can be associated with them at all. So now it's going to be, some range of conservative to liberal Democrats again, except that it'll mean something different than it used to mean. I mean, those Democrats won't be conservative because they're racist garbage people from the South. They'll be conservative because they have some other philosophy about the role of the market or of private enterprise or something like that in the economy. At any rate, this is the problem we have. It's basically now just the very low intelligent versus the high intelligence. And the thing is going to be decided by undecided people who don't pay any attention, people in the middle that don't pay attention to politics, no matter whether the politicians are smart or dumb. They just show up on election day and try to do their best. Those are the people you have to reach. You have to get them interested.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
All right. Some asshole in this chat actually just said, that's not Steve Bannon, you idiot. It's AI. You really think that I thought that a cartoon was the actual human being, Steve Bannon, you fucking moron? Holy shit. You see what I mean? Listen to what he just said. Just what Steve just said. Did you hear what Steve said? Low intelligence voters. And it explained the big switch and all that shit. So somebody who said just about the civil rights movement, again, apparently you weren't listening. The Democrats of today were the Republicans of the 60s. So, you just don't understand how anything works. And it's not surprising at all. But it is somewhat shocking, I think, that it's not surprising because I know what you guys are like, but it's shocking that you guys are like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing. Your whole premise is a lie. Sure it is. Major Democrats don't even know what fascist means. They overused the word. They literally called everyone a fascist. No, they just called Trump a fascist. You sound really stupid when you say there's no Antifa. I'll tell you what, who's the leader of it? What's the structure of the organization? How do they raise money? Where is their headquarters? Go ahead, tell me. Look, this guy right here, Brian Allen. That's not Steve Bannon. That's AI moron. Oh my God. Brian, you are a fucking retard. I swear to God. Unbelievable. Stop feeding the left versus right. It's all fake. You know that. And now they own your butthole. There you go. Another Trump supporter who's obsessed with gay sex. What a surprise. Democrats are literally hypocrites. Tell me how. The link I posted shows Obama admitting the shutdown is the Democrats' fault. Yeah, no, he never said that. He never said that. And you can't post a link in this chat. You don't have a wrench. So we know that a cartoon isn't a video, you dipshit. This is his words. It's not him speaking. Use your tiny brain. Yes. Let me see. Trump is your daddy. No. He's yours. Saying your opponents aren't intelligent isn't a valid point. You mean like when you guys fill the chat and just tell me how stupid I am, like that? These are his actual words. Look it up or don't. I don't give a shit. No, of course. But this guy thinks that I actually thought the cartoon was Steve Bannon himself, like the actual person, like sitting on his podcast or something. He does have a podcast, doesn't he? Democrats in New York think they are getting free stuff, but we are ignorant. Democrats in New York think they're getting free stuff, but we are ignorant. I don't know. Are you asking a question? I don't get it. I know, right, Ducks? It's great, isn't it? You say the Republicans have low intelligence, yet the dumb shitocrats, there you just proved my point, put dumb fucking Joe and tried for the cackling drunk Kamala. Except Kamala's never had a drinking problem of any sort. You can't provide a single credible source that ever said she did. And nobody is dumber than Trump. Even demented Joe Biden has more knowledge than Trump would ever have if he lived to be 500 years old. You know, and dumb shitocrats, that's why we call you stupid. I mean, this is literally what children do, what you guys do. You have the brains of toddlers. Of course they do. Of course they do. He was saying the voice was over AI. Stop, bro. No, he thought that I thought that was actually Steve Bannon. He thought he got me like, oh, this guy, he doesn't see that this is a cartoon. Oh, shit. Let me see. I got to get down here. Is it the Democrats' fault because whenever it takes 60 votes and there are not 60 Republicans to end the filibuster, they still require Democratic votes? They're only doing this for leverage. Good Lord. The Democrats are? What do you mean? You mean they're not voting for it because of, it's their leverage and it's the only way to get them to extend ACA subsidies by not voting to open the government back up? Of course. And they're doing it for the American people. A dumb shitocrat saying the Republicans are gay. What the flying fuck, dude? You're fucking retarded. Keep talking shit. This stupid as Steve Bannon cartoon, dude. You're a fucking moron. Yeah, you're well spoken too. You know that Grindr crashes wherever there is a huge Republican event. The gay dating app Grindr. It happened at the Republican National Convention. It happened at Charlie Kirk's memorial. You might want to look into it. Also, you could look up gay sex scandals with Republicans and Democrats and see which party has more. Like Trump's spiritual advisor who just got busted for pedophilia. But many, many times, Republican politicians who try to pass anti-gay legislation get caught in a hotel with some 18-year-old boy's dick in their mouth. That's why, let me tell you something. The people that can't stop thinking about gay people are the people that hate gay people or the gay people themselves. I'm a straight man. I do all types of shit throughout my day, every day. Not 1 second is spent thinking about gay or transgender people. I'm straight. If I'm going to think about anything, it's going to be pussy, you know? But you guys, you're talking about buttholes and gay sex and trans this and gay that. It's like, it's always on your mind because you're closeted. Just admit it. Trump will be showing all of the evidence that the 2020 election was stolen in 2 weeks with his healthcare plan. Yeah. At first, I didn't know where you were going. I thought you were one of them. Yeah. His healthcare plan. We've been waiting. He's been saying 2 weeks since fucking 2017, 2016, before he even took office. You shouldn't have be a intelligent person with morals, and we welcome you to Florida. Sex, politics, religion, doesn't matter. Family values towards other people is what we believe in down here. Okay, Patrick. Why do I spew so much hate for over 50% of Americans? What makes you think it's 50% of Americans? You're talking about 50% of Americans support Trump. Why do you say that? Do I agree with undocumented voters? Not only do I not agree with it, I'm smart enough to know that it's not even a thing that exists. I got in this argument the other night and I had to prove to somebody that undocumented voters cannot vote. It's impossible. It's a myth. It's what they tell you to scare you. That or when they lose. Oh, it's all the illegals that voted. Illegals can't vote. No. It's reported all the fucking time. There's a website that tracks all this shit. Yeah, it's reported all the time. Do I have proof of what? Say which specific thing. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm talking about it now. Yeah. What's my pronouns? Fuck you. That's them. Republicans are the ones worried about gay and trans people. That's all they think about, literally. There's no such thing as undocumented voters. No. YT is censoring me hard today. Are you saying dumb shit? Again, you're defining people by choices, not their morals. Their choices are private to each their own. Morals are in depth. What the fuck are you talking about? And Trump supporters don't have morals. They support Trump. LOL, never let them forget that they chose Epstein's best friend as the better option. They are hiding more than just being gay. Oh, no doubt. Do I agree with mentally ill pedophiles in girls' locker and restrooms? Well, you added a lot to that, huh? I think what you meant to say is trans people, but you just added mentally ill and pedophile. Well, I haven't heard a single case of that happening, so I couldn't tell you. But why would I agree with that? Of course not. Democrats, the party of 150 genders. Yeah, that's what they tell you. Simply not true. I can tell you right now, there's 2 genders and 2 only. Because you won the election, dummy. That's over 50%. See what I mean, guys, about how stupid they are? First of all, you fucking asshole. Half of America, you said 50% of America, or Americans, I'm insulting. Half of America didn't vote, you stupid ass. And out of the half of the voters, okay, if you want to just talk about the voters that did vote, which do not make up half the country, he got 49.7% of the vote. So he didn't even get over half of that. So, sorry. He won. That means over 50%. No, it doesn't, Sarge. There was other people running. He didn't get 50% of the vote. You can look it up right now. Just admit you're a fascist. Democrats are the fascists. Yeah, sure. It's not Orange Hitler up there. Yeah. I just did, Paul Raquel. Honestly, the men and women's sports and bathrooms turned me away from the left. I was completely done after the entire "what is a woman" BS. Well, what is a woman? That is not a thing that it really goes on. Okay. Let me tell you something. I know everybody I know is a Democrat because I tend to hang around smart people. Okay. I don't know a single one who can't tell you what a woman is. This is just what Fox tells you, that we don't know what a woman is. I just told you what a woman is. You know what I mean? And men and women's sports, you're an asshole for even paying attention to that, because out of 550,000 NCAA AA athletes in this country, 7 of them are transgender. 7. It's not an issue. It's just something to distract you with. Biden just gave a speech in Nebraska. People who are uninformed that mock and blame someone who gave 50 years of committed service to everyone, more so the people who didn't vote for him. Stupid people, you mean? Oh, yeah, that's what it is, yeah. Because there's no possible way you could be a free thinker and just pick a guy, right? As a form of contraceptive? Do you mean contraception? And which is, I've never heard of anybody. How could you possibly see abortion as a form of contraception. I don't understand that. And no, but I'm pro-choice. Now we think about liberals a lot. I know, way too much. Insulting people, then calling them dumb for insulting you back. No, I call them dumb because they say dumb shit. Ballot stuffing is real, and the left absolutely does that. No, they don't. That's not a thing. It's been debunked like a motherfucker. The only person who tried to steal the election was Trump. Trump started a riot at the Capitol. Trump set up slates of fake electors. Trump tried to threaten and force Mike Pence into not certifying the vote so he could remain in office. Trump called Raffensperger in Georgia and asked him to find him 12,000 votes. And Trump sued 63 federal courts throughout his lawsuits because there was absolutely no proof of any type of voter fraud that went on in that election. This is why I asked that. Why do you hate those who disagree with you? I don't. I hate people who support evil. And if you support evil, you should be hated. No, I don't agree with political violence, period. Nope. It doesn't matter. You need something. You can look it up. You need something. You need a birth certificate. You need a pay stub, which can be used to verify your identity or something like that. You can't just walk in and say, here's my name, I'm voting. They have to know you're a citizen. You could look that up too. Go right ahead. Yeah, it's not even a thing that's happening, peg legs. Not one of these people could tell you it's happened to them unless they're just lying. 77.3 million voted for Trump. Yeah. And the country has 340 million people in it. So why don't haters go to their own haters site? Go to their own haters site. I don't know. I'm a conservative redneck, but watching you, I respect you and welcome you to Florida because you have morality. Well, thank you, Patrick Knight. I do. Literally over 1/3 of eligible voters did not vote. Yeah. Yep. They think because Trump won that not only half of voters voted for him, but half of America voted for him. Can you imagine? So children, everything. Like everybody voted. Toddlers, babies, you know what I mean? Can we mention Harris? Sure. Can we mention Pelosi? Sure. Can we mention Newsom? Sure. Can we mention Fauci? Absolutely. If you're just going to keep asking if you can mention people, I'm just going to block you. Or just shut the fuck up and mention them already. God damn. You watch the most brainwashed news channel on the planet, most fascist news channels on the planet. No, Fox News is the most brainwashed. Brainwashed news channel is a stupid thing to say. They brainwash people. That would be Fox News. I don't watch Fox News. I don't watch CNN. I don't watch MSNBC. I don't watch ABC. I don't watch CBS. I don't watch anything. Who's the rotten people that won't vote yes to open up the government? Well, in case you don't know, I'm going to fill you in on some shit. This is a little known fact. Some people know it. Not everyone, apparently. The Republicans are in charge of every fucking thing. Everything. Okay? Everything. The White House, the Senate, the House. Okay? It's up to them. It's only a few Democrats they need to vote, and all Democrats want is the ACA subsidies extended. Republicans will not agree to that. Therefore, the government cannot be opened back up. Even though Chuck Schumer said last night, you know what? Forget about extending the ACA subsidies permanently. Let's just do them for a year, and we could revisit the issue then. And what did the Republicans say? They said no. They said absolutely not. I'm gonna, Bobby. Thank you for the $10. They said no, they won't do it. So still takes 60 votes. Yes. And it's called a fucking negotiation, you douchebag. Do you understand that? You think, do you understand how any of this works? Do you think that The Republicans make all the rules, they get everything they want, and the Democrats just vote. And if they don't vote, they're shutting the government down. No, it's never worked like that, and it never will. There's two parties. Okay, if you need Democrats' votes, you got to give them some concessions. You have to agree to certain things. So if the Republicans wanted the government open back up, they would just agree to certain shit, or at least negotiate it. Simple as that. There you go. Funny how Democrats leave Democrat states because of Democratic policies, move to red states, but continue to vote Democrat. That's the definition of insanity. I don't even know if that happens. I don't know. I can't tell you any specific cases of anyone I know that left the Democrat city to go to a southern state and continue to vote Democrat. If they went to a red state, chances are they're not still voting Democrat. Okay. Should politicians be only paid minimum wage so they know how the average people live and are able to make decisions that would actually help? Yeah. Yes, I think so. You see how quick the minimum wage goes up. Yeah, I know it takes 60 votes. You guys do you realize how stupid you are? Like, do you realize after hearing what I just said to still say it takes 60 votes, stop lying. I know it takes 60 votes. I never said it didn't. But the Republicans have to agree to certain things. The Democrats have that leverage that they need some Democrat votes in order to make this thing happen. They have that leverage. It's the only way they could save people's health insurance. So they're not going to give it up. So the Democrats can screw Americans or the Republicans can screw Americans once again. They're not going to do it. Yeah, we just went over that, Chris, many, many times. Why don't you have a mask on? Why would I have a mask on? What happened to the Doge money? Did Elon steal it? It cost more money for that stupid shit than it actually saved. You know what I mean? And these assholes are still waiting for their $5,000 tariffs check or whatever, their Doge check, whatever it is. Midas Touch. Yeah, I don't like Ben too much, but I listen to Adam Mockler and Brian Tyler Cohen, David Pakman, people like that. And then I fact check them. He's a Democrat, buddy. They just aren't what you have been told there are. They just aren't what you've been told there are. There's levels to everything. There's extremists on both sides. Get your head out of your ass. Who's a Democrat, fuckface? Who you talking? Oh, you're talking to someone else. Who are you talking about, though? Sorry, I called you fuckface. You're on the right side. My bad. Take Snap away. Why? You sound vaccinated. Well, you mean I sound intelligent? Yes, I am. You have no idea how government works, you dumbass. Okay, tell me what I'm wrong about. Tell me what I'm wrong about. Republicans have control of every branch. The liberal holdout are keeping the Fed closed. Obamacare is a leech on the balls of our country and does not need to be funded. Well, what it would take to fund Obamacare for the next year is less than what it cost, what we just sent to Argentina for nothing, $40 billion. We've spent $100 million on Trump's golf trips so far since he started his second term. Does that bother you? Any of this shit? How about the fact that he's about to sue the Justice Department for $230 million? Does that bother you? Of course not. Yep. Fully aware. Still, I don't think you get the point. What the fuck are you guys talking about? Are you not understanding me when I talk? Oh, yeah, sure they are. Except they have no power, right? Oh my God, Jason, do you believe these dumb motherfuckers? Can you tell me why you voted for Biden without bringing up Trump? Yeah, of course. He's probably the most experienced man and qualified man for the job in the entire fucking country. There you go. No, they want it extended for a year or so they could hold it hostage next election. They'll just do it again. Are you really defending holding us hostage until they get what they want? No, I am defending not giving Republicans what they want by screwing 24 million hardworking Americans out of their fucking health insurance. Yeah, that's what I'm for. You guys are too dumb to even realize, as working people, if you even are working people, that the Republicans are the ones screwing you. You don't even get it. No, Miss Campbell, no. Sleepy Joe was not present. Okay. Obamacare is non-negotiable. We don't give a fucking dime to illegals. Why is that hard to understand? Don't move to our red states. Fuck you. Believe me, if I move to a red state, it's simply for the beaches. Okay, that's it. I still won't like you redneck motherfuckers. Almost 60% of the voters in New York City election have lived there less than 5 years. There's absolutely no possibility that that's true. Republicans shut down 100%. They can even cancel the filibuster to get their way, as Trump has requested. Yeah, and they won't. And it's because Mike Johnson doesn't want the government open because of Adelita Grijalva. I don't even want to get into it again. No, they don't have leverage. You just said it. Yes, they do have leverage. How are you guys going to say the Democrats are keeping the government shut down, but they don't have leverage? Then how are they keeping it shut down? I hope people at least realize they can't rely on the government for simple, basic things like food. It's dangerous and you shouldn't do it. People shouldn't have to realize that. You know, they shouldn't have to realize that. There's people in this world who are disabled, who are too old to work and help themselves, that need stuff like that, you know? And people pay into the government their whole fucking lives. So I know. Controller, thank you. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's called negotiation. They're so dumb. They're so simple-minded that they're like, it's got to be the Democrats, the party who has no power, keeping the entire government closed, even though they have no power, because they need a few more votes to open it back up. It's unreal. That's right. You want to come on, Jason? Why can't Snap be audited? I'm quite sure it can. What do you mean? Yeah, but everybody's paid in one way or another. Can I defend Trump without mentioning Biden? Why, yes, I can. He's the peace president. You mean the guy that's about to go to war with Mexico and Venezuela? That guy? How's he the peace president? What wars has he ended? You tell me. And tell me how he ended them. Yeah, that's because Jason is the fucking man, and believe me, he's a fucking nightmare. You don't want to fucking debate with him. Trust me. Of course it is. It's about the Epstein files. Period. Yep. No, that's cool. That's cool. Do your thing, bro. Enjoy. How can you idiots say they have no power, but they say they are willing to negotiate? Since when can the powerless negotiate anything? Yeah. The Democrats are ready to negotiate. The Republicans won't do it. So fuck them, you know? Well, but there's no way to stop that, friendly Big T. If you're going to have programs like that, there's going to be people that take advantage. Just like billionaires. You know how much of your money actually goes to corporate subsidies and all types of corporate welfare versus how much of your money goes to welfare for poor people? Do you have any idea? If you're the average working man, it's about $5,000 of your paycheck, your tax money goes to corporate subsidies, while about $36 a year goes to food stamps and shit like that. But again, I say this on every show. Wait, what is this? Oh, I'll get to that in a second, Ryan Paulus. The Republicans have tricked you guys into thinking it's not the people all the way at the top who have everything that have fucked you up in your lives and that cause you the issues. It's the people poorer than you somehow. Sure it is. You're a lame. Russia. Buy a history book and define what the branches of government do. I guess the border was secure as well. You're a joke. Well, let's start with your, Y-O-U-R. It would be Y-O-U''RE. Russia. That is the most bizarre thing anybody's ever put in my chat because I'm not in any way, shape, or form speaking about Russia. I have not mentioned Russia once. Do you see what I mean, guys? This Ryan Paul has just proved exactly what I've been trying to say. They're a cult. They're brainwashed. This guy, all he knows, he's got programmed responses. So he's listening to a conversation where we're talking about Democrats and Republicans opening the government. We've touched on Epstein, a couple of other things. And he says, you're a lame Russia, Russia, Russia. It's just programmed responses. Jason, you saw that? You know what I mean. and buy a U.S. history book, buy B-Y, a history book. Do you mean B-U-Y, you illiterate fucktard? Is that what you mean? Oh, my God. And then he said, you're again, Y-O-U-R. This is why you guys like Trump. You heard what Bannon just said. Trump demanding an investigation into why beef is expensive. Didn't he just order a load of beef from Argentina and gave them $40 billion? You know now how he bankrupted 3 casinos. Yeah, this fucking dumbass, this dumb motherfucker. He's screwing the U.S. cattle ranchers. His supporters don't mind that. He screwed farmers. His supporters don't mind that. Donald Trump is protecting the pedos. He is. The Republicans are trying to force the Democrats to vote alongside them to hurt Americans. So glad the Democrats are not following through. Exactly. You do know that most billionaires in America are Democrats. No, absolutely not. That's just you saying it. Give me the exact numbers then. Tell me how many are Democrats, how many are Republicans. Because I'll tell you what, Donald Trump's inauguration, who did he have sitting at the table with him? Elon Musk. Was Jeff Bezos there? Mark Zuckerberg, people like that? They're there with him, right? So I guess you wouldn't say they're Democrats. So you're talking about the richest people in the world are sitting with Donald Trump. Okay. So now tell me how many billionaires are Democrats? Trump, Ivanka, and David Copperfield are in the Epstein files, including Maria Shriver from Fox News. I wouldn't doubt it. Democrats insist on illegals getting money, health care, and EBT. Schumer's bullshit. No. God almighty. Ugh. I'll do it again. It's so hard repeating myself so many times. This gives me a fucking headache. All right, so guys, I'm going to explain something to you yet again. Illegal immigrants cannot get health care or EBT. It is literally against federal law. You stupid motherfucker. You actually need a social security number for those programs, you jackass. Do you realize that? By any chance? That what you're saying is completely made up bullshit that you just hear in your stupid right-wing media bubble and from your social media post memes that you get all your information from? It is illegal. You can look it up. They cannot get government assistance. Stooley, 1988. Haven't seen you in a few days. Thank you for the $5, my friend. I appreciate that. Guys, if anybody would like to donate, the super chat button is down there, and I could put my other info in the chat if you'd like. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. It's so sad you really have no talking points. So, like, if you just ignore everything I've said since the beginning of this show, then yeah, you're right. Aside from everything I've said on this show so far, I have no talking points. Why don't you give me a talking point, fuckface? Yeah, oh yeah. We'll soon have our first trillionaire. Yep. When illegals go to the hospital in Canada, do not pay the bill. It is paid by Medicare, period. God almighty. And again, you don't understand the meaning of health care versus emergency medical treatment, do you? The EMTLA states that anyone, citizen or non-citizen, if they walk into a hospital and they need treatment, they must be treated and stabilized, period. The hospital doesn't have to do shit else. Then they leave, and the government reimburses them a percentage of that money. That is not Medicaid. That is not Medicare. It's not federally funded health care of any sort. Health care means that you have coverage. You have health care coverage. Okay, so what you do, because you got to move the goalposts since you're wrong, you guys been saying forever illegals get health care, and you're finally finding out they don't. Now you just conflate two different fucking things and you say, oh, well, okay, it's not actually healthcare, but it's this. This is the healthcare. When they walk into an emergency room. I would like for you guys to tell me how much money is spent on emergency treatment for illegal aliens in hospitals across America. I'm curious. Do you guys know? As long as anyone of color is receiving any government benefit, the MAGAs are willing to destroy themselves to prevent them from receiving anything. MAGA racism. Yeah. It's so funny, too, because they are the biggest recipients. MAGA people are the biggest recipients of welfare, period. Look it up. Red states receive a disproportionate amount of this type of government assistance to their citizens, you know? So I think what state was I looking at last night? 16% of their population. Let me see. Okay. Hold on, let me see. I'll read you a little something. Oklahoma, 48th in education and healthcare. Not in the top 25 in any category. 60% of the state relies on SNAP, which is one of the five highest in the nation. The child poverty rate is 21%. That's Oklahoma. Okay, so red states, Mississippi, Missouri, Tennessee. Look at all these states. Look how much fucking the rural. I don't want to hear shit about blue cities. The rural areas of these states receive fuck tons of welfare. That's why if you look at like Nebraska and shit right now, you look at all these food lines at all these food banks, they're all white people. They're literally all white people. It's the funniest shit in the world. Some guy was trolling them the other day, like, where are your red hats today? They were getting pissed off. I'm not a genius, and I don't know if you're being sarcastic or what, but thank you, though. Fuck face, you're looking in a mirror, moron. No. I'm looking in a computer. Was Oprah there? Dick knows the joy. I have no idea what that's even a reference to. It isn't healthcare, dumbasses. No, it's not. It's not healthcare. It's simply that there's a federal law called the Emergency Treatment and Labor Act. Okay, Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act that makes it so that hospitals they have to treat anyone. That means anyone. That means me, you, one of your children, a sick parent, or an illegal immigrant. Walk into a hospital, sick or hurt. They have to be treated and stabilized, period. That's it. That's all the law says. Then the government will reimburse them. I think it's a percentage. I don't think it's the full amount for that treatment. That's it. It is not health care. People with Medicare and Medicaid, they have health coverage. They can go to doctors. They can get procedures. They can get surgeries, and it's covered. Prescriptions, shit like that are covered. There's a difference. There's an enormous difference. And you guys still don't realize that. You've still been fucking fooled into believing that illegal immigrants are walking around fully covered. Let me see. Let me get down here. Oh, fuck me. Don't do this to me now. My mouse doesn't want to work. Who pays the reimbursement? Okay, I'll say it again. The government. Yeah. They have to because it's a federal law. So they can't just make the fucking hospitals eat the fucking laws. It's a Reagan law. Yes, I believe it is. Yeah. White people are eating the cats and dogs. Yes. When your state takes more from the federal government than it pays in, it is probably a red state. Oh yeah, and all those red states do pretty much. I had to argue with somebody last night that even Florida is a taker state. I mean, you can read some things that say it's a donor state, but Texas takes out 75 billion more than they put in, while California puts in 85 billion more than they take out. You know? It's definitely not the full amount. Yeah, I didn't think so. Still can't explain to me why Trump tried to get the Epstein files released twice before, and 2 Democratic judges turned it down. Oh, yes, I can, Drew. Yes, I can. You want to know? And you can look this up, research it. Don't take my word for it. I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to research it. So, the Epstein files are possessed by the Department of Justice. They can release them whenever they want. Whenever they want. Okay. Trump, there was backlash when they said there's no Epstein list after Trump for years ran on releasing the Epstein files, after Kash Patel and Dan Bongino told everybody the Department of Justice has them. This is when Biden was in office and can release them whenever they want. After Pam Bondi said the list is sitting on her desk and it'll be out soon. There was so much backlash, even by you guys. You were deprogrammed for about 5 minutes because of it. He didn't know what the fuck to do. So what they did is they went to an Obama-appointed judge. So, in other words, the judge, he picked the judge least likely to give him what he wants, okay? And he tried to get grand jury testimony. Let me repeat that. Grand jury testimony from Ghislaine Maxwell's case, not the Epstein files. Not the Epstein files, not the Epstein list. Grand jury testimony from Ghislaine Maxwell's case. Trump also knew, because he don't want any of it coming out, that there was no risk of that happening because Ghislaine Maxwell's case was under appeal, and they can't, not even a judge can release the grand jury testimony when a case is under appeal. So what Donald Trump did is put on a big show for you guys, knowing full well there was no actual chance of getting anything released. And that is a fact. Jackass. Go check it out. Tony who? Pizza? You know this because you are in Alabama? What do you mean, Laura? What does one thing have to do with the other? What are they talking shit? What does the Democrat Party stand for that you support? Well, let's see. Democratic policies are literally pretty much everything you enjoy on your average day. Okay, like the 40-hour work week, like the family medical leave, stuff like that, FMLA, like Social Security, like Medicare and Medicaid. Okay, people who need government assistance, welfare, Section 8 housing, food stamps, all that stuff, all Democratic policies. Democrats are also the pro-union party, not Republicans. They believe in women having the right to choose, stuff like that. This is all stuff that I support. All stuff, yeah. You don't even realize that most of the shit that gets you through the day is based on some sort of Democrat policy. You don't even know. That's the funny part about you guys. If it was up to Republicans, there would be no government assistance of any kind, including Medicare and Medicaid. There would be no unemployment. There would be no fucking Social Security. There would be no nothing. You'd get none of it. Nothing. He's living with his mom right now. You're wrong, and I'm not going to argue with you in chat. We all why you're doing this. Oh, why is that? I'll tell you what. You want me to drop the link for you, Drew? Federal minimum wage also. Yeah, the federal minimum wage. Yeah. You have Democrats to thank for all that. Josh. These ain't your mom and dad's Democrats. This is a whole different party, and it's evil. Oh, I know. These evil motherfuckers that just want everybody fed and housed, you know what I mean? And want women to have the right to choose and want health care for everybody. Pure fucking evil. Well, these damn Republicans, the good people, the Republicans, they just want to take health care away. They want to keep the minimum wage low. They want to make sure that the tax increases go to working class people and the tax decreases go to the richest people in the country. It's definitely the Democrats that are evil out of it too. Yeah. I love when you guys just repeat that Fox News talking point. These ain't your mom and dad's Democrats. Meanwhile, these ain't your mom and dad's Republicans. Believe me. Them support healthcare, food support for the poor, Social Security, and respect for all humankind. Yes. Social Security theoretically only works if the population keeps growing at speeds like after World War II. Social Security is most of our debt. Well, if Republicans have any say in it, which they will, they won't be around much longer. Oh, so you're anti-union, Sarge? Okay. At least you admit that you're anti-union. That's fine. It's the people that come in here that are union members that think Republicans have their best interests at heart. We don't need government assistance. No. You don't. There's people who do. We need less government. Yeah, until it comes to everything you like, right? You want Donald Trump to be able to totally what's the word I'm looking for? Just be able to do whatever he wants without any intervention from Congress. You don't mind that he places loyalists into all these different bureaus and departments and every fucking thing else, so he can get away with whatever he wants, and put a government in any part of your life he wants to put them in. You don't care about them being literally inside women's bodies. Now the government gets to tell women when and where they can have an abortions, or if they can. You could let women can die on an operating table because they've made it illegal for fucking doctors to save their lives if they're having a complicated pregnancy, stuff like that. Yeah, you want the government to force religion into schools, your religion, that is, stuff like that. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, you don't like big government. No, not at all. Well, that's what the channel is about, Lee Sheeler, you stupid fucktard. So what should I be talking about? Gardening, asshole? I'm about to be laid off again, third time since Trump, too. However, never got laid off one time during Biden, and we worked overtime. 1.1 million people laid off so far since he took office again. Red states are taker welfare states, while blue states are giver states. Blue states should stop sending welfare money to red states. I agree. And Gavin Newsom said the same thing. The only side that one is informed, two got up off their lazy asses, three cares about both sides' welfare and well-being, four held peaceful, organized, and respectful marches, five got the votes Tuesday. Fact. That's right. Mike Ramey. What's up, bro? Problem is when you allow illegals ER care, if they don't pay the DSH tax dollars, pay a portion of the cost, but it burdens the system because hospitals costs. I think you mean hospital costs shift to paying customers. This is a chain reaction with other programs. Well, here's the thing, Mike Ramey. The law, which somebody mentioned, is a Reagan law. It's a Republican law. It's not just for illegals. It's for anybody. If you're a homeless vet and you fall down and hit your head and you're taken to the hospital, they have to treat you. So, and it's the same thing. Okay. It'll come out of tax dollars. What's amazing to me is the shit that does, by the way, thank you very much for the $20. I wish there was more classy people like you who would donate in here. Anyway, it's not having a problem with giving more and more money to the richest people. So people like Elon Musk can pay 0.4% fucking taxes. You know, you guys got no problem with all these corporate subsidies and all this shit, but you're worried about sick people getting treated at a hospital. That's where your tax money, that's where it goes too far. Like, whoa. Giving Elon Musk, a fucking another 300 fucking billion a year or some shit, whatever it is, that's no big deal. But you're telling me you're going to fucking put a cast on that sick motherfucker's leg over there? You scumbag. I mean, think about what you're saying. Why is giving Argentina a 40 billion making America great again instead of giving the money to poor Americans with SNAP? They don't give a shit about Americans. That's Trump's boy, and he wants to give him 40 billion, so that's what he's doing. You're given so much power. You've given so much power to Trump. You're trapped in your pretzel logic. Pretzel, Pretzal, YOUR, trapped in your. Okay. You realize he's the leader of the free world and the most powerful man on the planet, right? So, how much power is little old me giving him? Just out of curiosity. You're right. Trump doesn't have any power. I'm making it all up. I'm making it sound like Trump is this super powerful individual, almost like he's like the president of the United States or something. It kind of doesn't matter what people want the policy to be for emergency care. Doctors take a Hippocratic oath that they will treat anyone that needs their care. And yes, that's another part of it, of course. Corporations provide the jobs. That's exactly what you've been programmed to say. And what's your point? What's your point? Do you know that a lot of these corporations, I believe even Elon, he got fuck tons of tax cuts thanks to Trump, and he's laying people off. Lots of fucking people. You think that because they get these tax cuts that they put that money back into, their employees, for example, are hiring more people. You think they give bonuses to their employees or raise their wages? They do stock buybacks. They give themselves huge bonuses. You guys are too ignorant to even realize that trickle down economics never worked. It didn't work with Reagan, and it hasn't worked since. Given that was Reagan's thing. We'll give all the tax cuts to the richest people up here so they have more money, and we'll hope that somewhere along the line it trickles down and benefits the working man. Never worked and never will. There's a good point. There's a very good point. I'm fine, Lee Sheeler. Don't get pissed off because you don't know anything. I make you look like a fool. You know what I mean? Don't get pissed off at me. It's you who should go learn more. California is the 5th largest economy, yet citizens are poor thanks to Dem policies. 4th largest economy, and you're just saying the citizens are poor thanks to Dem policies. I mean, how could you even say that? How could you even say that? The poorest states in this country are red states. That is a fact. Tell me I'm wrong. They're red states. 95 out of the top 100 poorest counties are red counties. Go look it up. Go ahead. California. The citizens are poor. They probably have the highest concentration of billionaires of any fucking state. What? I know all those people in Hollywood and Beverly Hills and places like that, just Los Angeles in general. They're fucking living. They're all homeless. Every single person, all of them. Corporations will source off and offshore jobs in New York in a New York fucking minute before offering hardworking Americans an honest salary or wage. And Trump in his first term, you can look at the Department of Labor and statistics. He was given contracts to companies. He was giving them all types of breaks and shit to fucking to move their companies overseas. Seriously, you could go look it up while he was shouting America first. In California, you're better off being poor. Why you say that? Because of taxes? I don't think anybody's ever better off being poor. I don't understand why these MAGAs don't get it. What is the problem with tax money going back and to help the citizens in your community instead of putting money in places where you never see? Because they have been brainwashed into believing that the best place for their tax money to go is to the people who need it the least. They literally, you will never hear a MAGA person pissed off that the richest people got tax cuts while their own taxes got raised. It doesn't even bother them. But if they see a chick at a grocery store buying a steak with food stamps, they want to kill the bitch. You know what I mean? It's the most retarded logic in the world. You guys are all much closer to being on welfare than you are to being, Elon Musk or even just anybody rich, millionaire or billionaire. But you don't get it. Look what a shithole California is under Dems. Tell me how California itself is a shithole. I'm curious. You mean the beautiful state of California? How's it a shithole? Tell me, Sarge. I'm going to wait. Yeah, I know, Jason. I know. And most of these assholes, they all wear MAGA shit that's made in China. They don't even understand the irony. Johnson State has the highest recipients of food stamps. Cali is the mother life. They cover all those red states' asses. Fact. Yep. Without California, most of those red states would go bankrupt. Research, Merc. Just because you don't know the stuff I'm saying, just because you're not smart enough, doesn't mean that I'm wrong. Matter of fact, I guarantee I'm not wrong. You can look up the shit in real time. Go right ahead. Oh my God, look at this dude. Look at you, Mike. You just became my hero for the day. That is the biggest super chat I got on a politics show yet. I've only been doing them for a few weeks, but man, you have no idea how much that means to me. That's $70 from Mike so far. What I'm getting at, and don't think I'm picking on illegals, they deserve health care for emergencies, but the system altogether is burdening healthcare, raising costs on everyone and throwing subsidies at the ACA is like putting duct tape on a flat tire. I got you, Mike, but here's the thing, and thank you again so much, bro. Believe me, I appreciate every dollar. I'm getting into politics because, you know, money's drying up in the other area of YouTube I was part of. So it means a lot. This is why Republicans should come up with some sort of fix, right? They're in charge. I mean, like we said in the beginning of the show, Donald Trump has been telling us he'll have a new health care plan since 2016. It'll be here in 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, and we never get it. So yeah, it has to be fixed, but no one's working on fixing it. Republicans aren't coming up with any fucking thing. And what are they going to vote for anything the Democrats come up with? Of course fucking not. You know? So Republicans, they bring no solution. Like if Republicans came and said, no, we will not extend the ACA subsidies, but this is the idea we have instead, then the Democrats could negotiate with them and maybe it would work. But they don't want people to have health care. You know that, Mike, I'm sure. They don't want people to have health care. That's why they're doing this. The main reason is not just because of the cost of the ACA subsidies. It's because they've been trying to get rid of Obamacare since 2014. And they can't because it's so popular. 24 million people get their insurance through the ACA. So what they figure they'll do is they'll let the subsidies expire and the premiums will shoot so far through the fucking roof that nobody can afford it, and they'll just give it up. They won't even want it anyway. You know? So you got to put a good part of the responsibility on Republicans for refusing to even address the issue of healthcare. They won't even address it. They won't even address it. Yeah. Well, that's kind of what a negotiation is, Drew. It's two sides using a negotiation to get their way. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it works. So what do you expect them to just give in to Republicans? Do you know how government works at all? Do you think Republicans would do that? Do you think if Democrats were in charge of everything and they said, okay, this is what we want, we're going to give you a list of things we want, and you're going to fucking vote for it, or otherwise the shutdown is your fault. You think the Republicans would just be like, oh, okay, here you go. We vote. We're opening the government. We're voting for. No, they would insist on certain concessions and stuff. Would they not, Drew? Would they not? It's just that you don't care what the Democrats are pushing for. So you're just saying it's their fault. They should just give in. That's not how it works. That's not how negotiations work. That's like if you go to a car dealership and the guy says this car is $42,000 and you say, well, guess what? I'm giving you $25,000 and you ain't got no fucking choice. You're going to take it. I'm going to drive off with this car and there's nothing you can do about it. It's not how it works. There's got to be something in it for both sides. I don't know about that because I don't know anything about Canadian politics. I don't know. I didn't hear about that. What is that? Uh, paid off by the school board in Ontario, guaranteed future government employment by Indos that say things like, Mom said I can use her as a tax write off about natives. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Government deficit spending is causing the inflation. It is hands down the most important issue in the long run. Immigration, healthcare, flag burn, etc., are far less important. Um, yeah, but I mean, I don't know which side you're on, or if you're just saying that in general, because both sides are guilty. But I mean, the big beautiful bill is going to raise the debt by $3.8 trillion. Fucking Trump added damn near an unprecedented amount of debt to uh, our national debt in his first term, 7.8 trillion fucking dollars, and um, something else I'm not thinking of. I can't remember, but yeah. So there's a lot that Biden added a lot too. That's so funny, that comment, Drew. You are too fucking ridiculous. You don't even understand. That's literally what they have to do. That's what they have to do. Yeah, they're using the shutdown as a tool to get their way. Exactly. And so are the Republicans. Simple as that. So are the Republicans. The Republicans don't care about people on food stamps. You realize that? They don't care about people on food stamps. If it was up to them, there would be no food stamps. So the way they see this shutdown is they think, since food stamps are a Democrat policy in general, they think if they keep the government shut down, it'll look bad for the Democrats, because the Democrats are the only ones who care about people. Okay? That's what they think. Unfortunately for them, the polling all shows the Republicans are being blamed, and rightfully so, because they control every fucking thing. So the Republicans want the government shut down right now. Mike Johnson does not want government to open back up. That's why he told Republicans, do not come to D.C. and negotiate with Democrats under any circumstances. This is all about the Epstein files, and that's all there is to it. So you could say the same exact thing. The Republicans are using the shutdown as a tool to get their way. Yeah. They don't want the ACA subsidies. They want the ACA subsidies to expire. So they're using the shutdown because they know Democrats are the only ones that give a shit about people starving. So they think, listen, we'll just hold out. They're not going to let people starve for too fucking long. Eventually they'll just cave. And the Democrats better not do that. You think so, Barn? You might want to look into statistics there. What are you talking about? Are you talking about like SNAP and shit like that? Because again, this red states receive a disproportionate amount of fucking federal funding for the SNAP program and all other government programs, and that's a fact. We just went over it. Oklahoma, 16% of the population is on SNAP, and it's not the blue cities; it's the rural areas too. So I know that's what you're told. You're told that it's all black people that are on food stamps. Yeah, it's not. The majority of people on food stamps in this country are white people. And of course they are, because there's fucking 5 times as many white people as there are black people. So when you look at the food lines right now at all the food banks across America, what you see is a fuck ton of white people. And a lot of those white people are Trump supporters because they're in rural ass areas, and poor people, for some reason, found it in their best interest to elect a billionaire. And look how it's worked out for them. Now they're on food lines, and farmers are losing their farms. And now it's going to be worse. U.S. cattle ranchers are going to suffer like a motherfucker because we're buying more beef from Argentina, which will probably be fucking poison. Epstein file has been released a long time ago. It's just a moot talking point at this point. Well, if that was true, it would be here to help. They've been released. Oh my God, Jason, you believe this shit? How come we haven't read them? According to Here to Help here, they've been released already. Yeah, no, they haven't. There's hundreds of thousands of files. Yeah. Why did that Pam Bondi say a few months ago, the Epstein list is on my desk, and then a month later say there is no Epstein list? Why is there an argument about this? Why is there a huge battle? Like, for example, you don't even realize I can't even believe he said that. It's unbelievable how uninformed you guys are. I mean, you've got to start reading and stop watching Fox fucking News. I'm telling you. 40 something thousand pages out of probably 300,000 pages were released. And they released them 2 or 3 times and made it seem, they tried to make it seem like every time they released the same shit, they were releasing new shit. Let me tell you about the government shutdown. I can't believe I got to do this on every show. Sorry, Mike. Mike's here for every show, and he's got to hear this every time. Mike Ramey, poor guy. So, there's a discharge petition to release the Epstein files. Okay. Democrats have been pushing to get the Epstein files released since June. All right. That's why Mike Johnson keeps shutting down Congress, because he's protecting Donald Trump, who's all over the Epstein files. Not according to me, according to Pam Bondi. Trump is all over the Epstein files. Okay. So, they have 217 signatures on the discharge petition. They need 218. That would be one more for all you guys not great at math. Okay. So Adelita Grijalva, a woman from Arizona, just got elected about a month and a half ago. She will be the 218th signature on the discharge petition. And Mike Johnson can't have that. So he won't open Congress back up, because as soon as he does, he has to swear her in. He's already waited pretty much an unprecedented amount of time. She should have been sworn in a month and a half ago, but he doesn't want her to swear her in, because then she becomes the 218th signature on the discharge petition, and we're that closer to seeing the Epstein files. So that's why they're keeping the government shut down. That's why Republicans won't negotiate with Democrats. And that's why Mike Johnson told them not to negotiate with Democrats. That's why, even though Chuck Schumer made a little concession last night and said, hey, forget about funding the ACA subsidies permanently, let's just do them for the next year, the Republicans said absolutely fucking not. So, and guess what? It ain't just about the election. If they said, let's do it for 6 months, the Republicans would say, absolutely not. They don't want the government open back up, period. And it's all about the Epstein files. And the fact that you think they've been released is got to be one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard in my entire life. Do you realize that, like, this is an enormous issue in this country, but you think it's all over with? You can't be serious. You know why, guys? These people, man, they listen to Trump and Fox News, and they think they don't even know this is an issue because they're not being told it. It is truly horrifying to know that there's people like this in the country that have the same right to vote that we do. Trump and the GOP are hiring the American people. What does that mean? The media is considered an unofficial branch of government because it's their job to inform the public. Yes. The Democrats' demands to reopen the government have nothing to do with food stamps. So why are you thinking Republicans don't want food stamps? Don't have any idea what you're talking about. Well, what do you mean the Democrats' demands to reopen the government have nothing to do with food? No, it's not about their demands. The government reopening, the government being shut down is the reason why there's no funding for food stamps. Okay? Because there's no funding, period. But Republicans don't want food stamps. I don't know, maybe because they've been trying to get rid of social safety nets since the last 4 decades or so. What do you mean they don't want food? They don't. Republican politicians, they don't want people getting anything. They want the rich people getting richer and the poor people getting poorer. That's it. So I don't have any idea what you're talking about. It doesn't even make sense what you're saying. I don't know. I guess maybe you misunderstood that I'm saying that the Republicans don't care about people on food stamps. So they're using the fact that SNAP isn't being funded as a way to get the Democrats to just give in and vote for the continuing resolution. Okay. They figure, well, yeah, they want the ACA subsidies, but they're not going to let people starve. They'll cave. And the Democrats aren't caving. So if you don't understand that, I don't know what to tell you. I'm confused. Didn't you say a few minutes ago that our government is shut down to avoid the Epstein files being released? That's a huge part of it, if not the main reason. Yes, absolutely. Yep. Uh, Well, not per capita what? Not per capita what? New Yorkers wanted Mom Donnie, and there's nothing that MAGAs can do about it. That's fucking right. Zoran wants your money now, Carla. Get to it. Except he doesn't. He just wants to raise taxes on people making over $1 million a year. Oh, I don't think it's shocking at all. They always have, as far as I'm concerned. As soon as they started supporting Trump, I mean, if you don't know that guy's a pedo, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, there's a video of him looking at a 10-year-old girl on an escalator and saying, "I'll be dating her in 10 years." There's multiple videos of how of him pretty much openly discussing wanting to fuck his own daughter, pretty much since she was a child. He bragged about walking in on pageants where there was naked teenage girls in the dressing room, and don't tell me they were all overage, because there's 5 underage girls that said they were in there. They were 15 years old. And they were naked when he walked in. All right. He's best friends with Jeffrey Epstein for 10 years. He's in pictures with him, videos with him. He actually said the comment one time. Jeffrey Epstein's a great guy. He said, "I'm going to do this so it's not like I'm saying it." And he even likes beautiful women as much as I do. And many of them are on the younger side. What do you think he was talking about? 20-year-olds? No. He knew. He got accused of raping Katie Johnson when she was 13 years old with Jeffrey Epstein. Guy's been accused of sexual assault 27 times since the 70s. So got found civilly liable for sexual assault. So yeah, the Epstein files, it's littered with Trump's name, and that's why they don't want them coming out. And I wouldn't doubt if Mike Johnson's in there too, and a lot of powerful Republicans. Isn't Obama considered rich now? Well, of course. What does that have to do with anything now? Obama's the first black president. He's gonna be rich, of course. But couldn't they have voted without the health care open that government? Wait, without the health care open the government, that would face the woman being sworn in, force the woman being sworn in, and the petition being signed. Every Republican voted yes. They could have opened it though. No, here's the thing, Mike Ramey. They're stretching it out because they're trying to get Republicans to take their names off that list, off that discharge petition. That's a fact. That's no secret. Swear to God. Okay. They're so they want it to take as long as possible because they can't get anybody to remove their name. Also, there's another guy that was just elected. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's going to be sworn in probably around the same time as Adelita Grijalva, and he's going to basically cancel out, her shit. So they're just putting it off. They're just putting it off. And here's the other thing, Mike Ramey. Republicans keep saying, "Well, let's just open the government now, and a month from now, we'll negotiate the ACA subsidies." They've done shit like that before, and they don't care. They lie, cheat, and steal. So they'll just say that. And then a month from now, Democrats, like the weak pussies that they usually are, will go looking to negotiate with Republicans, or Republicans are going to say, "Sorry, government's reopened. We ain't negotiating shit. The ACA subsidies expired December 31st, and it's all over." So that's why Democrats are holding out the way they are this time, because every time they trust Republicans to do the right thing, they get screwed. Well, Donald Trump still sends out fundraising emails literally every single day. Every single day. Plus, he's selling watches and Bibles and getting bribed through his crypto coin and everything else. The reason Dems shut down the government is because the Dems lost thousands of government-funded jobs and they want them back. Barney, I got to tell you something. I don't know if you know this. So amazing. The Democrats, Jason, you hear this? The Democrats, who have absolutely zero power, pretty much, shut the government down. Believe that? The governments can't shut the government down. They can't. They can't do it. The Republicans shut the government down. That's the way it works. So, Obama is what you would call upper class, rich by American capitalism standards, far from it. Well, I don't know. He's probably worth about 70, 80 million dollars. They got 60 million dollars for their memoirs alone. Yeah, yeah. Did Trump not testify in court against Epstein? No, Trump did not testify in court against Epstein. Where do you get that from? No. That never happened. That absolutely never happened. Do you agree that Democrats tried impeaching Trump several times to try and stop Trump from running last election? No. They impeached him for good reason, and they didn't try to impeach him. He was impeached twice. He just wasn't removed from office. So he wasn't convicted. No, he didn't. No. What he did, I think you're thinking about Pax Americana. See, what happened is Trump and Epstein, there was a real estate deal. Okay. Epstein was buying a house that was 40 or $45 million as an investment, right? And he wanted to he brought Trump there because he wanted to find out something about where they were going to put a pool. He wanted Trump's expertise because he's a builder. Well, Trump sees this property and buys it out from under him. Buys the house. He bids higher and he gets the house. And he winds up selling it a year later to some oligarch from somewhere, I can't remember, for $95 million. It was basically a money laundering thing Trump was into. But because of that, Epstein was suing Trump or was going to sue Trump. So that's why he kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago and they parted ways. It has nothing to do with anything else. Then in 2008 or 2009, the lawyer, I can't remember his name now, for the Epstein victims, they had a list of people they were going to subpoena, and they called Donald Trump, and the lawyer said Donald Trump is one of the only people that answered the phone without having to be subpoenaed. So he discussed Epstein with the lawyer. We don't know what he told him. Nobody knows. If he gave him any information on the children and the young girls getting raped and all that, we don't know. But he did talk to Epstein's or to the victim's lawyer about, what Epstein was doing or some shit like that. So, but he didn't testify. There wasn't even a case in 2004. It was later on. Yeah. It's crazy, Jason. You don't know. Some nights I think my head's going to explode in here. He was deposed. John Arena, yeah, he didn't testify. Deposed, I think about Epstein. Yeah. Jeffrey Epstein was deposed, and when Jeffrey Epstein was answering yes and no to questions, and then they got to, do you know Donald Trump? Are you friends with Donald Trump? Yes, I am. Have you ever spent time with minors, girls under the age of 18 and Donald Trump at the same time? I plead the fifth. So what the fuck does that tell you? I mean, come on, guys. I know he's your guy and all that, but you can't ignore this. Donald Trump could tell them today, Pam Bondi released the Epstein files, and it's all released. They don't need any judge's approval. That's not how this works. They only needed the judge for the grand jury testimony, which they didn't want released anyway. That's why they made sure it went in front of an Obama appointed judge. Plus, it wouldn't have even mattered. It could have been the most Republican judge in the world. Ghislaine Maxwell's case is under appeal, so the judge couldn't release the files. Yeah, Russian oligarch. Yeah. Was it Russian? I thought it was somebody from Hungary or some shit like that. Democrats aren't getting their way. They voted 15 times to keep government shut down. It's 100% a Democrat shutdown. No, it's not. It's not, because the Republicans are in charge and the Republicans can make concessions. You fucking asshole. You guys are so fucking stupid. They didn't vote 15 times to keep the government shut down. They just voted no against the clean CR. That's it. There is no such thing as voting to open the government back up, right? So, again, grow or not show, no matter how many times I explain it, you don't get it. Republicans are in charge. Democrats pretty much have one demand, and their demand isn't being met. So they're not going to vote. Grower, not shower. Then you could say the Republicans are keeping it shut down. Tell me what's the difference. Democrats, you say, are keeping it shut down because they want something in this deal. And I could tell you Republicans are keeping it shut down because they refuse to give them that. So if you say Democrats are keeping it shut down, I'll just say Republicans are keeping it shut down. And neither one of us is more right than the other one, except I kind of am because Republicans control everything. How do you know? They most likely won't. There could be some negotiation for less than that. But I don't think Democrats are going to fold on this. I hope not. 1.5 trillion. Yeah, isn't that over like 10 years of ACA subsidies? Something like that. It's not like a year, I don't believe. There's no way. They're not keeping it shut down. All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to get going. I enjoyed this, and I will be back on for another one, especially now that I figured out how to do this. I could put videos up and everything. Thank you all for being here, even if we disagree. Okay, so now I'm going to say Republicans shut it down. So take that. You started it. Like children. All right. There's no corruption. Yeah, it's corruption. Sure it is. Yeah, the poorest people in this country getting subsidies so they can afford health care. Yeah, that's a corruption. Trump taking a $400 million jet from Qatar that's going to go with him when he leaves office. That's not corruption. Trump accumulating 40% of his net worth over the last 10 months just during his second term. That's not corruption. Trump making $3.8 billion off of his crypto coin because he's being bribed from foreign fucking leaders and everything else to buy access to him. That's not corruption. No, none of that stuff is corruption. The ACA subsidies, that's definitely where the corruption is. Sure. Covering up the Epstein files, that's not corruption. None of those things. No. It's definitely that damn Obamacare. Sure, they do, mercenary. That's not a thing. Trump tried to backstab Epstein in a mansion sale to a Russian billionaire. Epstein figured it out and crashed the deal. Trump ran like a coward to the FBI and narked on Epstein. That's not what happened. Carla Fender. Trump never went to the FBI. There's no actual credible proof of that whatsoever. I don't think, at least if he did, it had nothing to do with any kind of pedophilia or anything like that. That it did work out. He did backstab Epstein in the mansion sale. He sold it for $95 million after buying it for $45 million, I think. And then Epstein was going to sue him. I don't think he went to the FBI, though. I don't remember that. But you could be right. I'm not sure. What about it? Tara Reid, what do you mean? Are you sure you don't mean Biden? Obama never had an accuser. You're confused. What? You're talking about Tara Reid. You're talking about Biden. Grower, not shower, $20 super sticker. Holy shit. See that? You know what? My opinion of you just changed. He's a classy guy. Even though we disagree, he donated $20 fucking. He didn't have to do it. That is awesome. You guys, believe me, when I tell you I appreciate it, I got people that have been with me 4.5 years who just stopped fucking donating, left me hanging. And you guys who are brand new, Stooley, Mike Ramey, Grower, not shower, amazing, man. That's fucking awesome. I truly appreciate it. I truly do. This is the first politics live stream I've done where I've really, well, not the first one where I've really made a decent amount of money, but I appreciate you. I'll buy you a beer. Well, thank you, Grower, not shower. You know, the funny part is, guys, whether you believe it or not, if anybody like me or Jason, me and Jason, and a lot of you guys sat down and actually talked about shit, we probably have a lot more in common than what sets us apart. But all these culture war issues that are used, that's what causes this fucking hatred between everybody. And it's not a good thing. That's why you should ignore them when they try to distract you with nonsense like Haitians are eating cats and dogs in Springfield, Ohio, and trans men are taking over women's sports and nonsense that's not even a real issue. You shouldn't pay any attention to it. There is corruption in the ACA, though. For real, watch the Senate hearings, explain how it works and why prices are so high under the ACA. No, Mike, you're probably right. You're probably right. But again, there's going to be corruption in every program like that. There's just no way to weed it out. So it's either we have these programs or we don't. So you got to think 24 million people that need this health care. I mean, how do we just kick them all off their health care? I don't know. We probably would disagree, but I don't think it would be right. I think the Republicans should try to work with the Democrats on something, and maybe they can come up with a great idea. Yes, Epstein said Trump reported him to the FBI for child molesting and trafficking that led to his investigation. That is true. I don't think it is. I'm going to look it up right now, though. There's no evidence or reporting to suggest that Donald Trump went to the FBI to report Jeffrey Epstein. However, a lawyer for Epstein's victims, Brad Edwards, has stated that around 2009, Trump was helpful to his private investigation by providing information over the phone. At that time, Trump was a private citizen and not a political figure in the way he later became. So, like I said, he didn't go to the FBI. That's just a rumor. But he did talk to the victims' lawyers. Yeah. Politics is impersonal to me. That's why I don't mind supporting you. Well, that means a lot to me, Mike. And I really, truly appreciate that, because these days people start hating each other over it. And I don't think that's necessary. I really don't. So, anyway, guys, hopefully you're around later. I'll do another one of these. And what's exactly 800 billion? I don't know what you mean. Yeah, but you don't want it, and you're probably fortunate that you don't need it, but a lot of people do. Anyway, I'm going to get going because I have stuff to do, but I'll be back on later with another politics show. So thank you guys for everything. No problem. No problem, Carla. I think I thought that for a while too until I researched it. But thanks for everything, guys. I'll see you later. Have a good day.